Welcome back to Over 55. I'd like to introduce Sue Van Arnhem. She's a volunteer engagement coordinator with Cancer Society of Elgin Middlesex Unit. So, hello Sue, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I guess first you should explain what a volunteer engagement coordinator is. That's a big thing to say.
Yeah, it
my
is.
Teeth here.
It's actually it's a new initiative. So talking about it's kind of interesting because actually we've been around since 1938 and there hasn't been volunteer coordinators for many, many years. So for a volunteer-based organization without a volunteer coordinator, it's been interesting to say the least. So I get to be one of the newer ones coming on board with this initiative, and it's actually an effort to fully engage with our volunteers in a new way. So the traditional kind of management way of doing things is changing at the Canadian Cancer Society. It's really an effort to engage about who our volunteers are, what they need, what they want to come and do. And instead of having a position that we choose for them, they're coming in and saying, this is what we'd like to do, and we're finding a fit for them.
Okay, so you can almost tailor a position for a volunteer because, I started off as a volunteer and I went to the hospital once and they gave me 2 pages and I thought, my God, I don't know if I want to do this. So
Right.
that's good because a lot of our organizations rely heavily on volunteers, and thank God they're out there helping us.
Yes, yeah.
So what do you actually do once the person comes into your Cancer Society office? I mean, I guess they're going to come in because they have cancer or a loved one or a friend that has cancer.
Yeah, a lot of our new volunteers have a story, a cancer journey that they like to talk about, and they bring so much experience to the table, and they can bring so much to other patients as well. We love to listen to their story. We take them through an intake process and really talk to them. The engagement process is really about really finding out what their volunteer work looks like to them. They usually come in with a picture, and we want to try and draw out that picture. So lots of different volunteer opportunities. We actually have about 2,700 volunteers that work with our unit right now across Elgin Middlesex County.
That's
so
huge.
Strong team. It's really it's a national community-based organization, but it's really volunteer run. And I started out as a volunteer, and I knew it was the heart of the organization, but I had no idea before I became a staff member that they're the legs, the arms, the feet, the vision, everything. Really, it's so volunteer driven. So it's been a joy to come on board and really launch the new engagement initiative because of their cancer journeys. They have ideas too of what's needed in the community.
So they do a little mentoring as well since they've had the journey themselves, and they can, if somebody comes in with cancer and, there's, was there 5 stages of, you go through the hate and anger, why me, and all that. Yeah. So they can sort of talk with them. Some of, I guess, have been on the journey themselves, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so they can relate, and I guess it's somewhere to go to people can feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, it's certainly, they come in with 2 different visions usually, and it's usually the people that have had that experience and want to share it and want to help people through it, or those that have had the experience and want to do the background work. Okay. So they're not actually involved directly with the patients. It depends on the experience you've had of how closely you want to be involved in it. But certainly the experience with our peer support program is critical, and with the driving program.
So they can come in, yeah, I was going to say that. I'm glad you mentioned drivers because our organization occasionally gets people to call up and say, I'd like to just drive for somebody. I don't want to earn any money. And I know the Cancer Society has great driving programs.
Isn't that incredible that people actually offer that? People are wonderful. And we have a driving program, and it is in a critical stage right now. We do have a lot of our drivers that go away for the winter and go south. So we do have a critical need right now. But drivers they come and they spend usually a full day, 1 day a week or 1 day every 2 weeks, and driving patients to and from their appointments. There's needs even to drive to Hamilton, Toronto sometimes for certain special appointments.
Right.
But we reimburse for the gas costs, so they have that.
At least that's good because it's the gas. So you have to make sure they have the proper insurance coverage.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
so because I've explained to some politicians that our economy would implode if it wasn't for volunteerism.
I know.
And the amount you mentioned is that's huge, and that's good to see that people are volunteering. Is it an age group that's volunteering, or are you seeing sort of younger people coming into the volunteer, or is it still?
It's interesting, all different ages. Certainly retirees are very, very key in our daytime program. So the driving program is very key for our retirees. Some of the youth or younger people are really have a passion for prevention. And so they've come on board with a new prevention team and their initiative to get out to the community the prevention messaging. So our youth and our younger adults have that correct messaging at an early age so they can actually prevent cancer.
That's great because usually the curve is it's older people, but the young people, because they always bring some new insight into something.
They
And
do,
I've
yeah,
had a young person on my board of directors, and yeah, it's the new blood and new ideas, and you think,
Energy.
okay, yeah, energy too, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, the energy.
yeah.
No, that's great. Now, you also have, I know it's volunteers, but your Daffodil Day. So do you have a group? Because you're
We
wearing
have
your
the daffodil.
good for you.
Yeah, no, we do have Daffodil Days coming up in April. We're kind of known for our April month, and certainly coming up, lots of volunteer opportunities, and that's where you see the big mass group of volunteers going out into the community and promoting those Daffodil Days.
Okay. Well, Sue, thank you for coming on and sharing
Thank
that
you
with
for
us.
having me.
Thank you for watching Over 55, and we'll see you next week.